Hello, good night. You have entered into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LACON, because it is the end of the year and we're just going to have a big fun tonight. Oh my gosh.
This is nerve-wracking. It's a lot. But this is also what you came here for.
So many things have happened.
What you mean?
What you mean? Life, death, promotions, demotions. I mean, just, oh my gosh.
What you're going through it's a lot.
They were stranded on the island with the guy from Star Wars. Oh gosh. Raiders of the Lost Ark. What is his name?
Harrison Ford?
Yes. I love that movie. Oh my gosh, she's been around like so many generations know her, and she almost reached, I believe, 100.
100, right? She was 99 years old.
Yeah, she did. She was like this close.
Like 2 weeks away from being 100. She was like 2 weeks away from being 100.
Yes.
For like a week. The next one on the list too was obviously a very, very, very big one.
Jeffrey Dahmer?
No, the passings.
Oh, who? Bob Saget?
He was big, but just somebody even
Queen
big.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Queen Elizabeth. Yes. Well, you know, I have my thoughts about that, but anyway.
The word of the year was something that you brought up not too long ago.
Oh, gaslighting.
No more gaslighting.
But people heard it so much. What does it mean?
Psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories, and typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence and self-esteem, uncertainty, and of one's emotional or mental stability, and a dependency on the perpetrator. Isn't that something?
Don't gaslight.
Gaslighting doesn't exist. You made it up because you're f***ing crazy.
I want to bring it back. That's why we were talking about gaslighting.
Right, because she was trying to gaslight me. She tried to call me a liar for speaking the truth.
This year. What kind of things do you remember? What kind of events do you remember even happening this year?
Oh, 2 things. I have 4 fingers up. 2 things really big.
What's
One,
that?
I could not believe Kevin Samuels died,
Right.
as well as the Will Smith slap.
Yes.
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LACON. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community.
Good to hear. That's good to hear.
Let's talk about mental health.
Lisa.
Hello, my urbanites. How are you all doing? This is the last show of the year 2022, and you have entered into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LACON. Welcome. Listen, we have a huge show tonight. I forgot to bring my tissue because it may be some sad moments. We're going to talk about everything. Well, not everything, because we went over so many things this past year, but also those that we lost. We're going to talk about that. We're going to look at some sneak peeks, and we're going to have a wonderful time. And guess what, my audience? I need to hear from you tonight because I may have missed something. So you can tell me what was your favorite sneak peek. Tell me if we missed anyone that was that unfortunately passed this year. Let's just have a dialogue between myself and you, my urbanites, when we come back in the Urban Suite. We'll be right back. All right, so this is our missing person segment. We always do this segment each and every time we have a scheduled show, and tonight is no different, even though we're on an hour earlier, and we are just going to be freestyling it tonight. But I also had to bring up our missing person of the week, and who is she? Her name is Micaiah Deary Bailey. She's been missing since December the 19th, 2022 from Baltimore, Maryland. Listen. You be more people out there. I need you to look at her face. I need you to share this information. Please. She's been missing again since December the 19th, 2022. She's only 16 years old from Baltimore, Maryland. She's a female, Black. Her complexion is dark. She's 5'4", 118 pounds. Her hair color is black. It is shoulder length, and her eye color is brown. I want you to listen to this. Her location last seen. She was last seen outside of Baltimore Polytechnic High School, located in the 1400 block of West Cold Spring Avenue on December 19th, 2022. According to her mother, she did not attend school, nor did she report to work. This is someone's child that's missing. Please, if you have any information about her, you can contact the Baltimore County Police Department, and that telephone number is area code 410-889-1820. Again, let me repeat that for my Spotify, iHeartRadio, as well as Amazon. I'm on Amazon now, so there's no excuse. That number is 410-889-1820. And that's the Baltimore County Police Department. Or you can call BAMFI, that's the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated, at 877-97-BAMFI. Let's bring Micaiah Bailey home. All right, so tonight is a special night because, again, this is the last show of the year, unless the NAACP declares from the local chapter. This will be the last show because we highlighted so much throughout the year. And I just want to say thank you, my fans, my urbanites, for joining, for subscribing, for participating, for giving me encouraging information throughout the course of the year. I could not have done this without you. I thank you all because actually some of the ideas that I had for shows came from you all. Sometimes you ask questions just in passing, in person, at my job, at House of Fitness. Wherever I went, I saw, okay, people may be interested in that. So We are here with my handy dandy producer, Kirk Nice. He's behind the curtain. Curtis, what are we going to do? What's up next?
All right. Well, we've got a lot of things that we did this year. So many things. In
Yeah.
fact, did you notice some of the thumbnails that were passing by in that new little clip?
I love that. That was my first time seeing that. I love that. We highlighted so many things. And one of the things that we highlighted within the course of the year is why New Year's resolutions do not work. They don't work at all. Research suggests that only 16% of them stick. And when I say stick, meaning that you stay with your goal beyond your goal. So you may stay with your goal 1 year in, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. But for the most part, no, the majority of people do not stick with their New Year's resolutions. And I tell you why. But I can tell you also how you can change that, because you want to change, and it's about changing your behavior. And what did I tell you all, my urbanites, about behavior? Behavior is a manifestation of your thinking. So whatever you're thinking, that's the behavior that you're going to do. So say, for instance, if I say to myself, I think I want to travel to Florida, and I have the financial means, I have all those other things, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to travel to Florida. So your behavior is definitely a manifestation of your thinking. So in order for New Year's resolutions to stick, you have to first think, okay, how am I going to do this? And there's certain things that you have to do. I'm not going to go into it in great detail because that would be a whole show in and of itself. But one of the things that I talked about is first you have to count the cost. How much is involved in you changing your lifestyle? Because you want a lifestyle change, not just a goal destination, but overall you want your lifestyle to change. So, number one, count the cost. Is it going to be expensive? Say, for instance, if you want to lose weight, is it going to be expensive? You may have to buy a new wardrobe. You may have to buy different types of food. Remember, I told you fruit is more expensive than potato chips. So you have to think about those things. And a lot of people don't stick with it because they don't have the financial means to do so. They don't have the financial means to go to the gym. They don't have those things. So what you have to do is, and I talked about this, you have to set a SMART goal. And a SMART goal is basically an acronym. S, specific. M, measurable. A, achievable. R, realistic. And T, timely. So everything has to be within that SMART goal. If one letter or one word is missing, it is not a SMART goal, and you're going to be challenged to deliver on your results. So what does that mean when I say specific? So say, for instance, if I say, well, I want to lose weight. Well, that's not specific. What do you see your ideal weight that you want it to be? Based on you going to the doctor, based on you not only wanting to do it because you may want to look good, but you may want to try to rid your body of disease like diabetes, things of that nature. It's not just about physical appearances, it's also about what's happening internally. So, specific, let's set a weight. All right. So, say for instance, if you want to weigh 130 pounds and you're 180, that's a start. So, that's specific. Measurable. When do you want to do it by? Do you want to do it in 3 months? Do you want to do it in 6 months? Do you want to do it in a year? So that's the measure. You want some metrics. And then is it achievable? Is it achievable based on certain circumstances? Okay. So is that achievable based on, again, counting the cost? Are you able to do this? Are you able to invest the time accordingly to lose weight, to get to that? And if it's not going to stick. And then is it realistic? How realistic is this for you based on your lifestyle currently? Is your family supportive? Is your work supportive? How realistic is this for you? And then timely. Timely also is setting those times. Like, okay, so Can I do it in 2 years? Well, that may be a bit in a far stretch. Or can I do it in 2 weeks? That may not be realistic also. So you see how all of them work together hand in hand. So that's a SMART goal. If you do not have a SMART goal, number one, if you do not believe that it's a lifestyle change, number two, and number three, if you have not count the cost before you engage in your destination goal, it's not going to stick. So what do you have to do? Number one, you have to count the cost. You have to count the cost. Number two, you have to determine what a SMART goal is for you. All right. And then also, you just have to do it. But you have to realize it starts first in your mind. At first in your mind, your thinking. That's where it all starts. And then you can look at yourself 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, with that lifestyle and not just focused on the number that you want to attain. So that's the SMART goal. What else we got?
Well, I wanted to actually go over a lot of the stuff that we did this year, and that was one of the things that we talked about. But maybe through one of these sneak peeks, they'll get another glimpse into the feel of the show, because we just want to give people that are just tuning in for the first time maybe a feel of the show.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll be right back.
Another wonderful show tonight with a very special guest.
Who, me? No!
You ready to do this? Oh, I'm ready to do this.
And let me tell you, these Tuesdays, they go so fast. Oh my gosh.
Too much time on your hand, is it?
Honey, turn that clock off. I ain't paying no attention to it. Turn it off. Turn it off.
We will be right back.
I'll be right here, doing nothing.
Man, you don't want to miss this.
I'll be there.
I am back. I have my Wonder Woman bracelet on. Well, I only have one, but anyway.
Hello, Urbanites. Hello, hello, hello.
What's happening? It's been a minute.
Hey, what's up, cholas?
What's up?
Hello, gorgeous.
And let's dig into this because this is really important.
I'm listening.
My Urbanites, I love you. I'll see you soon. Yes. Oh my gosh. You know what? I always love learning by having fun, through fun. And that's something I always did with my children. Learn through having fun. And those sneak peeks, believe it or not, those sneak peeks are a snippet of what we talked about in each show with a little humor injected into it, because a lot of people learn through laughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's laugh, learn, cry, and grow in the Urban Suite. So yeah, so who do we have on tonight?
Well, this year, I was gonna say last year already, but this year was a big year for apologies.
I know, but I was just saying who's in here. We have Felicia Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have Felicia. We have my source, Cynthia. Good evening. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that blue. Look at that. Getting ready.
Of course, you love the blue.
Ooh, yes. I got my look.
Jessica Burns is saying
We
good
have
evening.
Jessica
as well.
Burns. Good evening, Jessica and Felicia. Oh,
And-
thank you. Good evening. And Nas, thank you. That's my family right there. Nas, I tell you, thank you for joining into the Urban Suite. And if this is your first time, you are now officially an Urbanite.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well,
So yes, what do we have? We have people apologizing.
yeah, and we had a particular show where you went over a lot of different apologies and how people tried to push their apology out there, and if it was, positive, or if it was a correct kind of apology. But one of those people that didn't actually give us a good apology was this person right here.
I'm open to the conversation. I think it, it really is something that I think is a little bit multifaceted and layered. And so, yeah.
To ask you a question? Yes. Where the did your accent go?
It went out the window.
They want to hijack everything from us except poverty and pain. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking, man.
Yeah.
I flushed her down the toilet. I had to flush her down the toilet because her apology was awful.
Yeah. She didn't really acknowledge what she did wrongfully. She made a whole long list of. You remember that long apology we read?
Yeah, she wrote a dissertation. And I'm like, get to the point, lady. Come on. Like, hello. And put up the OAR, the OAR, the correct way,
yes,
the incorrect way to apologize.
Because she didn't have it. She
did not have it.
She did not have it. Is this where's the?
I had to flush her down the toilet.
Yeah, she deserved it. She deserved it.
All right. So we talked about how to apologize correctly because, you know, I'm just learning, not really just learning. It just dawned on me that just because we're adults doesn't mean that we're mature, because we are adults biologically, right? So that doesn't necessarily mean that we are mature to do certain things. So this is why this platform is here, so we can learn from one another. So this one was the apology tour. There were so many apologies being thrown out, and I was dissecting which apology was good, which one was bad, which one was awful. Awkwafina had a terrible apology. It was awful. The Rock, his apology was, I give it a C. I'm grading. Awkwafina, your apology was a D-.
Yeah.
And the only reason I didn't give you an F is because you spoke. You said something.
You did say something.
Right, you said something.
Remember Joe Rogan, and he started making all the excuses and stuff. He started explaining why he was doing it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So this is your OAR, your oar, your paddle. So what does an oar do? So when we get into a boat, we have an oar to get us where we need to go. You know, go forward. We can move back, turn over, whatever. So the actual way to apologize correctly is to take ownership for what you did. You offended someone, okay? So that's the O. Take ownership for what you did, okay? And then be accountable. That's the A. Make yourself accountable. You know, I apologize for saying this about you. I own it, my mistake. I take full responsibility. That's the next one. R, I take responsibility. Don't go into a dissertation saying why you did it. Nobody wants to care. No one cares why you did it. Like, oh, well, I did it only because you made me feel this way and I only did it. Stop it. Just do your OR. Ownership, accountability, and responsibility. Versus what Awkwafina did. Awkwafina, she was obfuscation. That means she didn't say anything. It's so murky. It's like muddy water. Like, what are you saying? It's so confusing. It's just all over the place. And then she avoided the issue at hand. She avoided really saying that she offended people. She offended someone. And then she redirected it to something else. I have no idea what she was doing, but I haven't heard from her since. Maybe she's in a cave thinking about it. Maybe she needs to see this show to see how to properly apologize to people, because she did not do it. Oh, she was awful.
Yeah, we had some comments real quick.
I never ever apologize. Shame on you. Shame on you. Oh my goodness. A person that never apologizes is a person loaded with pride. Oh my God. Get that pride out. Get that pride out. Doves in the house. Yes. I'm telling you. But it's really important to apologize, because oftentimes you know you did something wrong And remember, pride comes before the what?
The fall.
The fall.
Here, you might have to move over a little bit for this one. If this
Okay,
is the specific stuff that just in case people like our cousin Naz over there.
Yeah, right. Right,
Does she-
exactly.
she'll
How to
wanna-
apologize. Ownership, express sorrow. I'm sorry. Own guilt. I was wrong. I was wrong.
People have such a hard time saying that.
They have such a hard time. Oh my gosh. Accountability. Name specific things I did. I lied to you. I stole your money. That's hard.
Oh man.
Woo. I know you needed that money for your dinner, but I stole it. Hey.
Hold up. That's it.
But
But
that's
what
what I wanted to do. Why? Because you offended someone. You hurt someone. And oftentimes you can hurt people intentionally, or it may not be intentionally, but it doesn't matter. You hurt them. You offended them in some way, some form or fashion. And trust me, if someone hurts you, because it's going to happen,
Right.
Someone is going to steal from you. Someone is going to lie on you. Someone is going to gossip about you. You will want them to apologize. And if you didn't, that's how you roll. I don't roll like that.
Well,
I think people can grow based on apologizing.
She said something else.
Okay. I might perhaps say, "Oh, sorry, your feelings were hurt."
No, that's not what you posted. That's what you say right here. That's what, like in the next one right there. No,
Right.
sorry.
No ifs or sorry if
Or
I'm
if I.
sorry if I hurt you. No, you did hurt them. Be responsible, be mature enough, remove the flesh and say, this is what I did. And oftentimes a lot of relationships, now again, I'm not a relationship expert. I've just been married. It'll be 25 years in a fantastic marriage. A lot of marriages end because people don't know how to communicate correctly. Apologizing is a form of good, mature communicating. It really is. So no ifs, ands, or buts. Don't blame, shift, defend yourself. I only did it because no one wants to hear that.
But you did this the other time.
Sorry you were offended. That's a passive voice. Sorry you were offended. And then, responsibility, make amends. What can I do? So in that instance, when I stole money, you can repay me. You can pay me back. Unlike what The Rock did at the 7-Eleven that he stole from. But I never do anything bad. And guess what? That's a lie. You lie.
Oh, she said.
That's a lie right there. That's a lie right there.
Tell us about The Rock real quick. What did The Rock do?
So The Rock, The Rock actually, when we went to Hawaii last year, around this time last year, we went past his old high school in Hawaii, and they were so proud of him and saying this is where The Rock went to high school. And months later, I think like 2 months later, The Rock came out and he had to apologize because when he was a kid growing up, he stole like Snickers or chocolate bars from the 7-Eleven like every single day. And he said it haunted him for like all of his life. And I'm like, okay, yeah, really? So anyway, he said, I'm like, did he have sleepless nights? Like thinking about the Snickers that he stole? Maybe he did. But he said he wanted to do right by the store. So you know what The Rock did?
What did he do?
He went to the store and just bought a whole bunch of candy bars. I'm like, you didn't repay them for
The Rock got enough. The Rock got enough money to get him just the money back for how many candy. He could have added it up.
He could have just given him $5,000.
Yeah,
$5,000. I don't want anything in return.
right.
Just $5,000.
Meanwhile, he just depleted their whole candy stock.
Exactly. So when a kid came in, they had no candy because The Rock took it.
Oh no, that's too much. That's too much. But listen,
So,
I mean, did you want to go into something else, or did you want to start the memorial?
Yes, the in memoriam. We were just talking about the 22-year-old young lady who unfortunately died as a result of being in her car during the storm. And we were just saying she's 22 years old. When she woke up that morning going to work, she had no idea that that would be her last day. So with that said, let's look at who we lost in 2022. So I am getting ready to bring out a phenomenal guest. Oh, I love this woman. She's a phenomenal woman. She has so many answers. She's like this little sage. Listen, a round of applause because we're going to bring out Madam Divine. Oh, look at Madam Divine. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Look at you looking beautiful.
And I love you too. But with other races or even,
right. So when you devalue a person, I wasn't expecting that. Like, oh my gosh, I'm like crying. I need a drink on that one. All right. Oh my gosh. That was yeah. I'm stunned with words on that. There were so many unexpected deaths. And for me, that one still hits home because this is the first holiday season without her around. I would go to her house. We would talk on the phone all the time. And and I did a show about conquering the holiday blues. And it's just, you just never know. You just never know. So that was a wonderful tribute. There's some that I'm still like, oh my gosh, like Stephen Boss, the dancer Twitch. That took me aback as well. And Franco Harris, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what are some of the comments that are coming in?
Oh, and and some of the people on there were very young too, and you had a lot of football players too, and like
yes, Dwayne
sports.
Haskins. He was when I say our quarterback with the Commanders, well, at that time it was the Washington football team. I can't remember, but he had he got hit by a dump truck crossing the highway.
Yeah, but we have some, from one of your stories, we have some emojis there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And of course,
oh, thank you, Felicia. Thank you. It's very interesting joining a sorority. There are a lot of people now that are denouncing sororities. I never looked at a sorority as something that I worshiped, something that I put above God. I did it as a result of meeting people like Ursula and really having additional sisters in my life that would, have me laughing, crying. I could disclose, things to, and I know that it's going to stay right there with them, so man, that was something else. Also, let me try to think, which one was Sidney Poitier? That was pretty, you kind of expected,
yeah, because he was
our elders. Yeah, our elders. But you're right. There were a lot of young people, a lot of athletes. The takeoff was crazy. Oh, and P&B Rock.
Yeah. Well, there was, I didn't even put all the rappers. There was too many of them. And we wouldn't recognize none of it, but there was like 20 of them that died this year. You know what I mean?
P&B Rock. Actually, P&B Rock did a concert. That may have been his last concert at West Orange High School back in the summer.
Yeah. And we was
So,
and then of course, shout out to one of my bros there, Raheem Tame Brown of the Artifacts. He passed recently too. Actually, like on the same day that Hurricane G, who's also from this area, same kind of set too.
It's interesting. And then Coolio, that was a shock.
Yeah.
My husband just saw Coolio. Was that July 4th weekend in Virginia Beach? It was either Labor Day or July 4th weekend. I can't remember. It was one of those, but he had just seen Coolio.
Mm-hmm. Now, what? The bigger one though was Kevin Samuels.
Oh, Kevin Samuels! My nose is running. Oh my gosh! I don't have a tissue. I'm like, darn it, you know what?
I'm sorry.
I was just put that thing and didn't tell me.
All right, I'm gonna give you a chance to get a tissue because I'll play another sneak peek real quick and let you get a tissue. We don't want to have you out here, looking crazy.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Oh my goodness, I just got caught up in The Facts of Life. The Facts of Life. I used to love that show. The Facts of Life. What? Are you serious?
My bad.
I just...
Suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about
What? Well, Lisa, remember you were talking about pivoting. Hey, my urbanites, guess what? You have entered into the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LACON. This has been an awesome year for me since we launched Urban Twos for Change Network, and I could not have done it without you.
What do you need me?
Thank you for everything that you have done, your prayers, your support, all of that.
Anything for you.
And I still have a ways to go, you guys. You guided me. You told me this is what you need to do. Very practical tips. She didn't say, well, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you need this? Do you have that? She's like, oh, you can do it. You got this.
Thank you so much for acknowledging that. That's like so nice.
The stuff that they were saying is so relevant. It's so on point. They're so knowledgeable. So down to earth. Very practical tips.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just appreciate you all. Shout out, thank you for your support also.
It's my pleasure.
Let me slow down because I'm so excited. But he's always there behind the curtain. Always there behind the curtain. So I just want to say thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so we're back. My nose is no longer running. All right, so anyway, let's bring up some comments. Let's see. What are some folks saying?
Okay.
Oh, here's one. Nas says she wants to talk about the Pittsburgh football player. Let's bring that one up. All right. Why wouldn't he wait and call an Uber? Call the rental car place. Don't walk on a major highway. Yeah, that is true. I know he was on the phone. They said he was on the phone with his wife, but I think he had some substances in his system, so he was not at his best. You know what I mean? So apparently,
and it was late or something.
And it was
like
late.
early. Yeah, it was like early in the morning or something like this. So it could have been any.
Yeah. So I mean, with substances in your system, your mind is altered. Everything starts in your mind for the most part. Mind being altered. It was late. He probably wasn't too familiar with the area. I mean, they were there just to do, I think, like a camp, the football camp thing. So, it's just, I don't know.
It was like a once in a million chance kind of too. Like a car would be coming down the thing right then, and he didn't see it. Because obviously, come on.
And it was a dump truck. Like, oh my gosh, that's like.
And it's like, how did he?
I can't imagine as a parent getting that phone call.
Yes, sorry,
not one. And then Cynthia's like, I'm not really good with loss and death, especially after my oldest daughter, right, and my mother within the past 5 years. But this year, after we lost our sores and my daughter's father suddenly, I began therapy. It's way too much for me. Good for you. Good for you to know what you need, because it really is. It's a shock to our system. Sometimes you can prepare yourself, but these sudden losses, I think in my chapter alone, we had, I think, 4 deaths. The other sores, I wasn't too close with them, like Ursula. Ursula and I would talk almost at least, if not once a week, like every other week or something like that. Like we just, and we just had a really good connection. So you just never know. You just never know. Good for you, Cynthia, that you are getting, the help and the assistance that you need, because the one thing that we fall prey to is believing, oh, we're strong Black woman, we can do anything. Well, at the end of the day, no, we cannot do everything and anything. We need help, we need support, and that's why BetterHelp therapy is out there. So if you are struggling with this, if you're struggling with grief, loss, I really encourage you to seek the help that you need, because it is out there. Sometimes it's just too much. It's too unbearable. But I have to say, God doesn't give you more than what you can bear. At the end of the day. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Let's just check the comments.
Oh, someone asked, what am I drinking? No, this is not grape juice.
Hey,
and she says, oh, Mr. AG, lost my mother and father and brother. I need help to deal with this. I know, that's something else. And I think all within a certain amount of time. Is that correct, Mr. AG? Was it within a certain amount of time, within months or something like that?
Yeah, and then also continuing with the other conversation, Cynthia was.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was a lot in our chapter this year. Only God, it was a lot. And, some expected, but some unexpected. You're like, wait a minute, she's only 50 something years old and she's gone. It's like, oh yes, years. Yes. That's something. So, Mr. AG, if you need the assistance, BetterHelp, you know, therapy definitely is good. It's basically a clearinghouse of therapists. So you punch in what type of therapist you're looking for. If you're looking for African American male, say for instance, if you're looking for an Asian American male or female, whatever, you can punch in what you are looking for, and then the names will populate, and then you can interview them. And then a long time ago, when I say a long time ago, 2 years ago, I had a special about you could interview therapists, you can interview doctors before you actually become their patient or client. That's very, very important.
Yeah, we might have to put that up on the website or something so that people just look at that reference sheet. Have a reference sheet for what they do. But speaking of someone that passed this year and transitioning into a little bit of a different mood here, let me show you this clip right here for a second. And then we can talk about it after.
Clarify some of the evidence. Was Mr. Colbert ever in this greenhouse, say last night about midnight?
Gillespie? Yeah. You saw it. I saw it. Well, what are you gonna do about it? I don't know. I'll remember
that. He said, what are you going to do about it? I don't know. That means I'm not going to do nothing.
Yeah, but Sidney Poitier, who died this year, was very famous for that slap in 1967. That was the first time anybody had seen a black man slap a white man on.
I know.
On a movie, on a big screen. Everybody saw that. So that was like
everyone. And they wanted to ban that. They wanted to cut it out. They didn't want it played. They didn't want it displayed. They wanted none of that.
Yeah, yeah. But then that slap kind of came full circle with this.
All right.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. That was a nice one. Okay.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
Oh! He slapped her! Love will make you do crazy things. Wow! Will Smith just smacked it out of it. That was the greatest night in the history of television.
And the Oscar goes to
Will Smith!
Denzel said to me a few minutes ago, he's at your highest moment. Be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
Thank you. Hope the Academy invites me back.
I couldn't believe it. Now, I didn't see it live, but I remember our daughter called and she was like, did you see the slap? I'm like, what slap? Because I don't watch the award show. But that slap, that was something else. But it was so interesting because I was reading the Will Smith autobiography maybe a couple of weeks prior to that. And I pretty much kind of assessed what was happening to him at that point. And then later he actually said in an interview, and we don't have the clip. If you want to see it, I can Google it, whatever, maybe next time, what was going through his mind. What was going through his mind when all of that transpired. Very interesting. Remember, my Urbanites, it all starts in the mind. Everything. What you focus on will grow. What you focus on will grow. So again, going back to, death and dying, if we're so preoccupied with our loved ones that are gone, that's what's going to grow in our life. We're going to grow grief in our life rather than changing and shifting our perception and saying, okay, I know this person, and it's hard. I know this person is no longer with me, but how can I keep them with me but still move on and carry on? It's an ebb and flow. It's like a tidal wave. Sometimes you feel the rush of emotions, and then sometimes you don't feel anything, and then the rush, and then you don't feel anything. The rush, you don't feel anything, So yeah, it's very interesting. The Will Smith slap wasn't nice at all. No, it wasn't. It was mean. And then he comes out with a new movie called Emancipation. I thought it was Emancipation from Jada.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot of rumors online saying that they're like breaking up, or like that he's done with her or something like that. Or, I mean, but then that's probably just rumors. I don't, let me not even say that.
Well, speaking of rumors, who do we have?
What you mean rumors?
Tasha K.
Oh Lord. Okay. And our girl Tasha K. She had a serious situation. Why don't you break down her situation though? That we started at the top of the year.
You all don't know Tasha K. Tasha K is a blogger. So she has a YouTube network station, and she has about 100,000 subscribers.
Yes, very successful. She makes a lot of money doing
it. Yes. So she has 100,000 subscribers. She calls her guests, like I have my urbanites, which you all are. She calls her guests the winos because it's whining something with Tasha K. Anyway,
Unwind with Tasha K.
Yeah, unwind with Tasha K. Thank you. Unwind with Tasha K. But Tasha K, she's like the Entertainment Tonight within the urban community. I mean, sometimes she has receipts, sometimes she doesn't. But she is a gossip blogger.
Yeah,
right. So that's all she does. So basically, she was gossiping about Cardi B over and over and over and over again. Cardi B got tired of it, especially when Tasha K admitted or said something about her children. So then Cardi B took her to court. And then as a result of that, Cardi B won because Cardi B took her to court for defamation of character, just all these other things. So Tasha K is supposedly owes Cardi B millions of dollars. Tasha K says I'm not paying Cardi that money.
She says, but she does owe her, but she says she's going to appeal it. She says she's not going to pay until she exhausts all her appeals, I guess. Right.
Well, this can go on forever, but do you have the Tasha K? Yeah.
Yes. We have what her reasoning for ending up in this situation was. This is her reasoning.
Yes.
We called bluff against a machine that wanted to bully me for not wavering from my personal beliefs. A machine that has corporate interests to protect prostitutes. This machine, this thing, secured and poses a threat to the machine's sole intention to mislead the public and malicious towards a machine that glorifies a lifestyle, a machine that clearly influences or invasion of privacy when these machines have pushed this lifestyle on us for profit. This machine never wanted my money. Challenge a machine that protects their corporate interests. This machine tried to squeeze us for everything. Fighting machines with endless money protecting their investments. This machine has tried to have me arrested, and no machine will ever stop me. Gossip, bitch.
I'm still scratching my head like, excuse my language, my urbanites. What the hell machine is she talking about? What is she talking about?
Getting there.
The Illuminati? Is that the machine?
In the Hollywood cabal.
Okay.
That was out to get her.
So basically, she instigated something and lied.
Yeah.
And then the person said, I'm going to sue you. So that's the machine coming against her.
Yeah. Well, see, this happened because of something else that you talked about this year.
Oh, bullying. Oh my gosh, I forget. See, thank you, Curtis, for bringing all these things because we talked about bullies. Oh my gosh.
She
And
bullied
how-
Cardi B to where she was
Yes.
suicide. Or
Yes, she did. It impacted her mental health. And I don't care how rich someone is, when you hear this negative information about you and then it spills over into your children, that's a different level right there. So we talk about why does bullying happen? Because one of the most important questions I always think of is the why. Why? Out of any question that's important, it's the why. So insecurity. Why bullying happens? Because they're insecure about their financial status, their physical status, their physical stature, or their position or status in life. And then it's a learned behavior. They learn it from family or society. Like, you don't come out the womb just bullying. Like, you have to learn it, and you have to be insecure about something. And then how do you confront a bully? You have to be confident in who you are, in a sense, okay? And confident to know, okay, I know my position. I know my purpose. Now, if you don't know your purpose in life, it's going to be very challenging for you to confront a bully. So you have to be confident. Number two, you have to expose the bully. Bullies do not like to be exposed. They like to do things with only a little amount of people around, like in secret. Like, they like to do things in the dark, in the shadows. So you have to expose them. And then sometimes with bullies, you have to walk away. You have to learn how to respond rather than react. And that's by walking away. And then you have to pray. Number one, you pray, Lord, help me not harm them. Number two, I pray for them to go away, for you to do what you need to do for them to go away. And that's what you have to do when it comes to a bully. But cyberbullying is 50 Cent does cyberbullying. He does cyberbullying all the time.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we have something about confidence right here real quick.
Okay. All right. So welcome back. My profile. Remember Alfred Hitchcock? Didn't he used to do profiles? His profile, like when he used to come on. Anyway, and you can learn it from your family.
We are family.
So that happened on the internet.
The TikTok sensation.
People feel like they don't have power. You all know what that word is?
What's the word?
Bird.
Bird is the word.
Sometimes I don't like telling everything. Can you guess?
I'm afraid to guess, because if it isn't who I want it to be, then I'm going to cry.
Sometimes I like for you all to guess.
I need some time to think.
I want questions answered.
Guess what?
Guess what? What? Guess what?
You have to.
I don't want to do things. I want to not do things.
You know, I'm serious.
You think I'm kidding. It's not a joke.
Even though it is bad for me, I am going to do it.
Anyway, it's confidence.
You're bad at math, but I'm giving you an A+ in confidence.
Just doing what I gotta do.
Extra credit.
Now, there's a difference between being confident and being arrogant.
Pick the hottest, most confident, savage version of ourselves and do that for the rest of the school year.
Be confident in who you are.
They run away from confident people. Sometimes you gotta run. I'm like, I don't know about the running, but
what am I running from? The negativity. It keeps trying to follow me. Leave me alone.
Walk away.
Okay.
You just came out your mother's womb walking. You know, just riding a bicycle. Oh, no.
No.
You have to speak those words into your being. you can speak positive words into your life. You can say, you know what? I love me just the way I am. Do you? Wow. It's amazing. I'm looking back over the year and it's like we covered so much.
Yeah.
Like we really did. We had internet glitches.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it was awesome. When I say awesome, not in a good way, but awesome, like, oh my gosh, it was just so much, like so big and huge, the internet glitches. It was like, oh my gosh, like.
Till your neighbor moved away.
Yeah, right? I'm telling you. It hasn't skipped not one week. We have until February because no one's going to be occupying that space until February. I'm like, yay.
But there were a few stories that we covered that were a little, I don't know what we say, offensive. Let's take a look at this.
NAACP. No, I'm joking.
Well, no, not that. We ain't getting into that right now. Like something like this.
Tonight, a Darby Township fire station finds itself in the hot seat. The Briarcliff Fire Company, now suspended for at least a month, stemming from allegations firefighters were caught using racial slurs on audio recordings that have gone public. According to township officials, the audio surfaced following a virtual meeting late last month to discuss the possible consolidation of the region's 3 volunteer fire companies. On that call, members of the Goodwill Fire Company reportedly noticed Briarcliff had not completely disconnected from the call.
So we thought there was going to be some kind of closing arguments.
Instead, for more than an hour and a half, racist, insensitive, and disparaging comments towards black firefighters from other fire companies were heard. Also drawing ire, audio that appears to mock the name of 8-year-old Fonzability, who was shot by police in the county last fall. The inflammatory audio prompted Goodwill Fire Company to draft a letter to alert township leadership.
It breaks my heart, because we're all here to do a job.
By Wednesday evening, town leaders had heard enough and voted unanimously to suspend the fire company.
I am appalled to have to stand here today and hear about these racist comments.
Today, local and state leaders condemned the speech and vowed to investigate.
Whether or not a crime occurred, hate speech is always morally wrong.
Meanwhile, a community has been left to question whether those charged with saving lives may have ever had their backs to start with.
As a black woman, that is my community that they was talking about. I don't feel safe and I don't feel comfortable.
Wow, that's something. So as a result of that, what happened with that fire station?
Well, they were going to have a vote to see whether or not they should keep that fire station instated. But before they could even get to the vote, which was the next month, we covered that story, I believe, in March. And then by April, they had decided on their own to disband the fire department.
Wow.
So they disbanded that fire department, and I guess they moved away or found new jobs,
So what did they think? The blacks are going to be like, yo, we here? Like, like dancing.
No, they were just making fun of people because they were making fun of the little girl that got shot by the police. Yeah. That didn't have nothing to do with them.
Not only did she get shot, she was killed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she was killed by the police. Yeah. And they were making fun of her name and stuff.
Right.
But it's weird out in Pennsylvania. In some areas of parts of Pennsylvania, it's very rural and stuff. And that story was in Pennsylvania, but this story is also from Pennsylvania and has a similar bent towards being racist towards kids.
What is this?
That's why I ain't even focused on it.
It's okay, Big Bird.
Hey! Who said it's okay, Big Bird?
That girl that was in front of us.
Hey!
Hey! He wanted to adapt. He wanted to hop off.
The diss, like, oh my gosh.
The disrespect was crazy
Oh
on
my
that one.
God. You're talking about trauma
Yeah.
in the eyes of those little kids, like betrayal, like
Yeah.
totally, like
They're heroes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They see them in a whole different light now.
that is so sad on so many levels. And that's why those little forms of prejudice, they leak into a racist society.
Yeah.
Because if you really look at it, he acknowledged every party goer, every little party goer.
He or she was inside the costume. We don't know if it was a woman or a man.
Right. Well, Rosalie or whatever her name is.
Rosita, yeah.
Rosa, whatever. You know, ignored, from what I saw, ignored the uninvited little children.
Yeah.
Now, my urbanites, I have two forms of people that I talk about when I get into subjects of race. I don't do race at all. I do the uninvited and the party goers. And the party goers are the ones that, you know, they have all the money, they have all the resources, they have all the whatever, and they can tell you, you know, who's invited to the party, who's going to sit at the table, whatever. And then the uninvited are those that are just not invited to the party because of whatever. It could be financial, it could be, you know what, they just weren't invited. But what I saw right there, and this is why, as a population of people, this is why we have to really do our own thing, you know, and not rely on the party goers, because at the end of the day, the party goers are not thinking about the uninvited. When you have a party, realistically, do you really think about people that you just don't invite? You may not. You just, you know, whatever. So that was, I flushed her down the toilet too, that character. I know that character.
Yeah. And you know, there was actually a couple instances. There was one in Clark with that the mayor of Clark got caught on tape saying racist things.
Yeah.
And then even down to the girl that was spraying the things on the
Yeah.
lantern bugs, and the guy called the police on her, said it was a little black woman doing
Yeah,
something
little black
strange.
woman, she's a little person.
And she's scaring me.
Right. I'm like,
She
what?
was scared. But what is the thing that you always talk about on the show that's so pervasive throughout these personality disorders and the way people operate and stuff?
Fear.
Yep.
Fear. Let me tell you
Fear.
about fear. I tell you, fear is a spirit. It is something else. And last night, I actually saw Puss in Boots.
What?
The last
Oh, the
week.
new one.
The new one. I did not fall asleep.
Oh,
It
wow.
was fantastic.
Wow. That's some sort of endorsement there. But what it had to do with fear, though?
Because it was an element in there that had to do with fear. The whole element had to do with fear. And conquering your fear and
Right.
working as a team. There were so many underlining things in that movie, but fear was the main one. Fear.
All right. Well, fear is the basis of one of your main principles that we discussed this year.
Yes. Oh, yes. The bear effect. Oh my gosh. The bear effect. Listen. Beliefs expected as reality. The bear effect. And what happens is when you have the bear effect, your anxiety that you have over certain things, I need you to listen to this. Let me move over because my face
Yeah, let's move to the side.
Okay,
yeah.
you go to the side. When you are stricken with anxiety, it's from at least one of three data points: historical data, witnessed data, and hearsay data. And I talked about that in depth. Historical data is when you actually witnessed something, you were physically there and it attacked you. Something happened to you personally. So it's in here. When I say data, your brain is a computer. So it's interlocked, it's ingrained in your brain, that event. So if something seems familiar with that event that happened in the past, guess what's going to happen? It's going to trigger anxiety. So then that's the historical data. The witness data is it didn't happen to you personally, but you were there in the area and you saw it, you witnessed it. And based on you witnessing it, if that situation comes about again, it's going to trigger anxiety. And then the last one is hearsay data. This is when you get your information from the news, from social media. And it's like, oh my gosh. So if it happens again, you will be triggered and then you will have anxiety based on that. So I gave a personal situation that happened to me when I was younger. When I grew up in Washington, D.C., I was walking home from school and I was attacked by two dogs. I will never forget this. It was a German Shepherd as well as a Doberman Pinscher. And both of them attacked me at the same time. And thank God I had my granddad's umbrella. I jumped on the car and I poked that dog with that umbrella that spoke. I was like, listen, it was me or the dog. Like, no. But as a result of that happening, that's historical data. As a result of that happening, I had a fear of dogs growing up because that's what I believed. I believed all dogs were out to attack me based on my personal experience. Now, say for instance, if my friends were around and they saw it, but the dogs didn't attack them, it attacked me, they may have a fear of dogs because they saw what the dogs did to me. That's witness data. So then guess what? The next one is hearsay. So what if those dogs mauled me? Okay. And then you read in the newspaper, these dogs walking on Tuckerman Street mauled this little girl. Guess what? I'm not going to walk on Tuckerman Street. I'm going to have a level of anxiety. My anxiety level is going to be sort of escalated as a result of what I read. So that's the bear effect. Your beliefs expected as reality. But guess what? Again, it's all in your mind. Your beliefs could be faulty. Mine were very faulty. Not all dogs, big, small, were out to attack me. But it's because I was initially attacked as a little girl that I internalized that all dogs are out to attack me. So guess what? I had a fear of dogs.
But that's gone now because now you got Miles, right?
Yes, that is totally gone. I have a big old bull mastiff. And when I see dogs that are big, I no longer my heart doesn't palpitate. I no longer walk around, walk across the street, unless it's, has foam at the mouth or something, like.
Right.
But other than that, I'm fine. My fear has totally is gone.
Well, that's good. That's good.
But that's the bear effect.
Right. Now, we have a couple of things that we could go towards. Because you mentioned responding versus reacting earlier.
Yes.
I do have that clip in here.
Okay, yeah, sure. Because
Do you all understand the difference between responding versus reacting?
because there is a difference. When you react, you're not thinking about the consequences at all. You're on automatic pilot. Impatient people can't wait 5 minutes for a hamburger to come. Your heart is beating fast. It's always rushing, always impatient. Gotta go. What time? Oh, no. You have an abundance of anxiety. That's what you have. You better hurry up. You better come out this house. Come on, girl. You better. Wait a minute. Let's breathe in. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be super aggressive. Let's breathe. Take some deep breaths. I did that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm talking about impatient. And here I am blowing my horn. But it's a work in progress. When you respond, you are very thoughtful about the consequences of your behavior. Wait without complaining. That's how long you have to be patient. It will happen, but you have to wait. How can you go through life not thinking about the consequences of your actions? Being meek is not a form of weakness at all. It's having your strength under control. Meek people, they definitely have a quiet disposition. They're not boisterous and loud and rude and Take some deep breaths. So you can relax. You don't have to walk around like the Tasmanian devil all the time. He creeps like a mouse, but has jaws like a lion. Powerful. That was powerful. Oh my goodness. That was Meekness, Selassie, right? That was
that was a really interesting show that we did this year.
Yes, about being meek and how
Haile Selassie.
Yeah.
Haile Selassie and the power of meekness.
Yes, the power of meekness. If you need to see that, you can go to the Urban Tools for Change Network YouTube channel and you can put in the search, the power of meekness or just meekness. Very, 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 very good. Also, it's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or if you don't want to see my face, you can even go to Amazon. I'm actually on LinkedIn as well. I'm on like 7 different platforms right now.
All right. About to unwind with Dr. LACON.
That's right. So let's go to some more comments. Let's see. There is one. So listen, this one right here, is that grape juice like Scotland AME Church, Zion Church uses for communion? So this is very interesting because, maybe next week I'll show the clip, but she's referring to Potomac, Maryland. My family is, we're landowners in Potomac, Maryland, the Doves. And we helped, my family years ago helped to make this church, Scotland AME Church, into fruition. We were some of the founders. We put our sweat and tears. So my great-great-grandfather was a freed slave who bought land. The land at that time was called Snake's Den. That's why it's called Snake's Den Production, because I am a product of the Snake's Den. So in Potomac, Maryland, he bought a lot of land that still exists till this day. And what happened recently, that church, Scotland AME, someone broke into the church.
Oh, that's terrible.
Someone broke into the church. It was on NBC News. I'm going to highlight that next week. And we had a fundraiser because it's now a historical land. So yes, historical.
What did they steal? What were they trying to steal at the church?
I have no idea. Maybe pipes. I don't know. There's nothing in the church.
Like copper and stuff like that.
Right. That's the only thing I could think about. When you're doing renovation work and you have the copper pipes. But now they're changing. Listen, you thieves. No longer are they using copper. They're using this hard plastic stuff.
On the boilers and stuff too?
Well, I don't know about the boilers, but I just know the pipes. Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's to prevent that. You know, to prevent,
Yes.
like theft and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dr. Lisa was terrible. When I saw that video, and Nas sent it to me. I saw it, and I was so upset. Oh my gosh. I said, I hope their feet explode, their fingers explode, and I hope they have diarrhea. Constant diarrhea.
You know, you're supposed to be praying for them folks to get better and find Jesus.
I know, right? I'm like, maybe they were going there to steal Bibles and read the Bible.
Then that you could have maybe excused it a little bit or something.
Oh, but I reacted.
Right.
That was my reaction because, you know, it affects me personally. That's my family.
Yeah.
So I am, you know, if I moved to that area, I would be a real housewife of Potomac because that's my family.
Wow.
My
well,
family.
I mean, you know,
I have to tell you this. They named a street after my great-great-grandfather in Potomac, Maryland. They took the Confederate names and William Dove. So when you see doves, all those doves, those are my people.
Wait a second. What did you just say about the Confederate? They took the Confederate names. What'd you say?
Yeah, they changed the name of the street from some Confederate name to grandfather Dove, William Dove.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah, that's great.
Unfortunately, I was out of the country. I think when they took pictures and stuff, so their pictures, I'll you know.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have to make a little story out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's been going on in the past couple of years as well. As a matter of fact, that was just announced with I believe it was the Marines in their like training camp. They're taking down some Confederate pictures and people, you know, Robert E. Lee picture was up in there on the wall and stuff like that. So they're taking all of that down too.
Because can you imagine what that does to your psyche? So say for instance, hypothetically, right? If this person, Johnny, right? If Johnny abused you, right? As a child, and then you see a statue of Johnny.
Yeah. Oof.
And you have to see that statue all the time.
Yeah.
What would that do? Like what?
But that was
Johnny, you know, his group of people, the party goers, they see him as a hero.
Mm-hmm.
But behind the curtain, Johnny was doing like terrible things, notorious things to kids or whatever.
But that's the psychological oppression that people have been living under the whole time. Just like everybody had to live on that street. You know what I mean? When it was still a Confederate street. Robert E. Lee Avenue or something. You know what I mean? Like, and they had to get a house over there or whatever, you know?
Absolutely.
Write that on their address, write that on all their forms and stuff. Just subliminally, just like,
yes.
Yeah. Well,
So
we went over a lot of personality disorders and stuff too, but I wanted
personality disorders, yes.
But I did want to go into something a little bit lighter before we actually went into something more serious.
Yes, okay. Wow.
So if we could play this clip, it would be good.
Oh, Trader Joe's. Oh my gosh. Let me tell you why Trader Joe's is being flushed down the toilet. I go to Trader Joe's all the time, and I would go there for their oatmeal raisin cookies, the little oatmeal raisin cookies. Their oatmeal raisin cookies were the bomb.
For real?
I don't know. All right, if you say so.
And she said, no, they discontinued the oatmeal raisin cookies. I said, what?
Now, can we pause, record scratch?
You have got to be kidding me.
You should have.
What?
I look like a drunken man walking in that parking lot. I was so discombobulated. I couldn't find my car. I was like, what? I'm serious. My oatmeal raisin cookies, they're gone.
The heavenly aroma still hung heavy in the house, but it was gone, all gone, all gone.
So because of that, Trader Joe's, you get the flush. But I will say this. Naomi, she kind of calmed me down. That was the worker at Trader Joe's. She said, well, sometimes in life you have to try something new.
Open your minds.
And I know this, but I didn't want to hear that at that time.
No, I had a reason. I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the
I had a
reason?
reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained it.
I know this, that I have to try something new. So, next week on air, I'm going to try their peanut butter cookies. Now, I don't like peanut butter. Like, they had all these peanut butter cookies. Who eats peanut butter cookies? Double chocolate chip. Why double chocolate chip? Can't they just have chocolate chip? What's the double? So they get rid of my oatmeal raisin cookies for peanut butter and double chocolate chip and some other stuff. I'm like, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna try it on air. The peanut butter cookies next week.
Wait, are you serious?
I don't like peanut butter, but I do like peanut butter. Does that make sense? Like I like peanut butter and apple slices, but I don't like peanut butter cake and cookies and stuff. But because it's Trader Joe's, I'm gonna try it.
That's brave.
I cannot do the double chocolate chip. I really don't like chocolate chip cookies.
Okay. Wow. All right.
I can't stand chocolate cake. Please don't purchase a chocolate cake for me. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. LOL about the oatmeal raisin cookies. I was at Trader Joe's today looking for I'm in denial. I was still looking for them oatmeal raisin cookies. They are never bringing those oatmeal raisin cookies back.
Nasty.
Oh, gingerbread little ones are the best. I like the is that the ginger? Yes, the ginger snaps. Oh, those ginger snaps, let me tell you, that's a little laxative. I'm telling those ginger snaps are so good, but it's a little laxative in a box, in a container. Oh my God. What and I end up eating so much, but they're so good.
So I guess that's a reason to go back to Trader Joe's a little bit again. Right?
Yeah, I was there today, actually. I was at Trader Joe's today, got my coffee, my eucalyptus.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, after that, I was like, oh, yeah. I was so disappointed with Trader Joe's.
And actually, could you update everybody what the result of eating those peanut butter cookies was?
Awful. Those things were awful.
Yeah,
I hid in a toilet bowl and eat that artificial tasting peanut butter. Ugh.
Yeah, they didn't get the thumbs up on that one. When they were tried the next week.
The toilet, literally, like on my little sound machine, flush down the toilet. I just don't like peanut butter like cake and cookies, and it's so artificial. But I like peanut butter. Like I can eat peanut butter out of the jar. Like peanut butter back in the day, they used to stick.
Yeah.
It was like super glue in your mouth.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything.
The peanut butter market used to be competitive back in the day. Jif and Skippy, they were going at it and stuff with each other.
Yeah. But remember, now everybody had allergies to peanuts.
Yeah, now everybody has allergies. Yeah.
You can't as a student bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to class because Sally, all the way that sits in the other area, is allergic.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's.
So that's what happened.
But I mean, people are more allergic, I guess, right? Like I don't know why people are more allergic to everything, but it seems like people are more allergic nowadays.
I don't know, and why the peanut butter?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. But as a kid growing up, we had peanut butter all the time.
Yeah. before we get into more serious stuff, we can go. I just want to show two
let me show you
things.
this one. She says allergies. Isn't that crazy? It's too much. It's too much. You can't bring anything to school because Sally has an allergy. Like, what the? Kick Sally out. Qua says kick Sally out. It's the crap they spray and put in our foods that I believe the pesticides. Yes.
All right, but is it that too, or is it not? Is it also too that some of the kids aren't getting out into the environment and stuff too? What about that part?
It could be both. It could be, a combination. It may
Like
not
not playing in the grass, like not picking up sticks and playing in the dirt a little bit. You know what I mean?
When you're saying getting all these germs to build up their immune system.
Yeah.
They're so sheltered that their immune system is just not the strongest.
They're inside playing video games all day. They ain't out in the grass and stuff. They ain't trying to get their new $100 sneakers dirty in the grass and stuff like that.
And I have to tell you, my immune system was the strongest when I used to go to the psychiatric hospital.
Why do you say that?
Because it was strong. I wasn't a patient in the psychiatric.
Oh, okay. But why? But why you were going? Like, how did you notice that though? How did you notice that you're?
I never got sick. I never nothing for years. Just like. And the reason was because I was so exposed to so many different people. So I would go to Trenton Psychiatric Hospital. I would go to, at that time, Hagedorn was open. And I believe I went to Ann Klein, I think once, if I'm not mistaken. So these are psychiatric hospitals that, it's...
And people are full-time housed there and stuff, so you're exposed to all of the ailments that they have, kind of.
Yes, exactly. So it built up my immune system, being exposed and just being around them, going every single month. Haven't had a cold in over 40 years. That's what I'm talking. Right now, who are you around, Qua?
You know what I'm saying?
But it makes a difference.
Yeah. Evidently, if like expose yourself, but then when we're in after the pandemic and stuff now though. So there's other things out here that are.
But I did get COVID this year.
Yeah, so did I.
I got COVID this year, but I have to say, I'm going to tell you my urbanites. I thought I had allergies. Like it was really nothing. Thank God Rona was around then. Right. It was sort of like I thought I had allergies. And the only reason why I tested myself is because I had an appointment, whereas I had to unmask and I didn't want to put anyone in danger, whatever. So then when I got my result back, it was like, oh, you're positive. But I have to say, I called it my
COVID vacation.
Right, my covation, because I needed that time to be by myself, and I just to rest. Yeah, because I was ripping and running, doing, and COVID is the demon. I had it for the first. Oh man, I didn't get it for the first time.
Yeah, I had it, and it was like very tired and stuff like that. But you did have the brain, like I had the brain fogginess though sometimes too.
Oh,
like
the brain fog. Let me tell you about
that's weird. That was weird.
That was very weird. I could not remember how to spell little words like little. I was like, is it Liddle? What? I'm sitting at my computer, I'm like, how do I spell little? Is it DD? Little? Am I saying little or little? I was like,
yeah, so that was a part of it though, and then the tiredness, like for a certain X amount of days.
Well, I didn't get tired for a couple of days. I didn't lose my taste.
Yeah, I didn't
lose my taste,
but I did not have an appetite though. I definitely didn't have an appetite.
I'm trying to think. Did I have an appetite? I didn't have no. I mean, it was my regular appetite, which is really no appetite at all. But also another thing that happened to me this year, my medical issues.
Yeah.
When I talked about pica, when I had pica, and people were like, "What's pica?" Well, pica was a result of me being low in iron, and based on that, I was ingesting non-nutritional objects like baking soda. Like I had a craving for baking soda, like all the time.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like, consuming baking soda because
Yeah,
of my
we talked
low
about
iron.
Yeah, so we talked about that in depth on one of the shows.
Yeah.
So, what is it? What is pica? I believe, or something like that. What was the name of that show?
Yeah. What is pica? My medical something journey.
History. Yeah, my summer journey, my summer
Yeah.
health journey, my
Yeah.
summer health.
So
Yeah,
I
so-
had that. So the things that happened to me, and I'm like coming on the men, I had pica, low iron, and everything for the most part stemmed from having fibroids. It was the fibroids.
Yeah.
So with the fibroids, I had excessive bleeding, hence the low iron, the pica. And then it was in one of the videos that I did, one of my urbanites said, "Dr. Lisa, are you okay? You look so weak." I was so weak.
And then you went to the doctor, and then you
And then
got
I went to the
checked.
doctor. Yes. So that's why I said thank you, because I was so weak, but I really didn't know it because I was kept going through the motions. And it was the video that we did of the youth with the at the Orange, the city hall, where the mayor was there, and you know, so yeah. What else were you eating during your pica episode? That was it. That was all I had a craving for. I just had a craving, so I would like brush my teeth with it, which is normal. But then, in excess of brushing my teeth, I would just put it in my and just go, and it tasted so good.
Yeah,
Now I can't stand the taste because I had an iron infusion.
Right. So now you don't need the iron anymore. So
Right. I don't need the iron anymore because I have enough of it. And then I'm going back to the doctors in March. They're going to look at everything. And then I told you all about my the medical procedure to reduce the fibroids, which I felt like I was like, the doctor said, "Oh, your fibroids are going to be angry." I was like, "No, they're not. They're pissed. They hated me." I was in so much pain. It was, oh my gosh, it was excruciating.
and then they had you hopped up on the drugs and all that other stuff.
Oh
We had
my
a
God,
whole journey this past
my
summer.
husband had to clean up my vomit because I was vomiting all over the. Oh, like, oh, thank God. Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
I
So,
thank God
but
for my husband. Oh my God. Oh my God.
yes, thank God for your husband.
Yeah.
Because without him, a lot of this would not be happening.
Without him, that hello.
Okay. But I mean, we talked about a lot of, we talked about health conditions and stuff like that. But you also talked about obviously mental health issues. So
Yeah.
we went over the disorders. Here's a little quick clip of what some of the disorders you talked about.
Okay. So you have a cluster A and you have a cluster B. All right. So cluster A is paranoid, schizotypal. Now they consider them clusters because they categorize them by common trait. The common trait for cluster A is basically odd and eccentric behaviors. Cluster B, which we're talking about today with the antisocial personality, the histrionic, borderline, and narcissistic, they're very dramatic, emotional, and erratic. And then you have cluster C, which is basically 3 personality disorders. You have avoidant, you have dependent, and then you have obsessive compulsive personality disorder. That one is based on, for the most part, anxiousness and fear.
Yep.
That. Oh my gosh, we went through all of the personality disorders. Of course, I cannot repeat them right now,
No.
but if you want to see what
They're all
he
available.
did, you can go to YouTube. It's all there. All there.
Right on the YouTube channel. And I mean, we do have a sneak peek or two that we can go into after, on one of those personality disorders. After
borderline personality disorder. That's so interesting.
That's the one with the girl with the TV and all that stuff?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's the I have that marked as something different. But before we even do that, I was gonna say there was like a bit of news that did happen recently that you wanted to mention right quick.
What is that? Oh! Okay, so 2022 was very interesting because that's Brittany Griner,
right,
and Victor Bott.
Okay.
So Victor Bott, they did a prison exchange. So it was big news, prison exchange. So we have the basketball player versus the merchant of death. So do we have a clip of who she is, Brittany Griner?
Yeah, I actually do have a clip of, yeah, we'll do that.
I'm good. What's your mood?
Happy.
Happy? Well, are you ready for long flight?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Good. Ну, вы знаете, куда вы летите?
Do you know where I'm heading to? No. No?
No. Вы летите домой.
You fly back home. To the U.S. To the U.S.
Да, конечно. Так что все будет нормально.
Everything will be fine.
All right, so listen, there were two camps, opposing camps. One is like, why are we releasing a basketball player in exchange for the merchant of death? But let me tell you, I get that position, but I also get the other position as a mother. I'm like, okay, yes, he's the merchant of death, but if my child were there, y'all can release 100 million Grim Reapers. I don't care who's collateral damage. I just want my child home. I mean,
I mean, there was still like extenuating circumstances with the whole thing too. Is it's like he's actually been in jail for X amount of years already. They caught him like way back. Like he's been off the grid for so long that he's not even like effective anymore. It's like we have the internet now. Like when they caught him, it was like I think like the early 2000s or whatever. And so and plus they didn't have the option of picking which person they would exchange for. That was the deal. Like you get one person and we want this person back. That was the deal. So,
yeah. So you believe he's rehabilitated because of the internet?
No. I'm not saying he's rehabilitated. I'm just saying that he's not necessarily as effective as he might have been 15 years ago before he got locked up, and he was on the run for like X amount of years before that. So like they had in-depth discussions about it, but the bottom line is he was the person that they wanted for her. And again, she was arrested because she had like maybe like a minuscule amount of marijuana or something in a vape pen, and she was trying to get onto an airplane to come back to America. And then they arrested her and they put her in like a gulag or whatever for like 10 months.
Well, I have my theory on this whole thing. I don't know if you want me to share it or not.
I mean, you might as well. It's the end of the year.
Right, yeah. So both of them are home free. I think she was the perfect pawn. I think they spied on her for several months. And I think it was strategic on Russia's part to have someone as leverage to free him. And I believe she was perfect based on her demographics. So based on her being a female, based on her being Black, based on her being the LGBTQ plus community. And I think she was good optics for her
to be arrested.
To be arrested. Because I don't believe, this is my opinion, I personally don't believe that was her first time doing that, carrying a vape.
Well, yeah, she's been over there plenty of times. That's where she makes most of her money, actually, because the WNBA doesn't pay her more than the people in Russia.
Right. So I believe she carried a vape prior, but they didn't do anything, and they were very strategic, and they were very patient, and they waited until such a time as this to do this. That's my take. Now, I could be wrong. Oh, someone said, I totally agree, Dr. Yes. That's my take.
And then also, you had another comment.
Yeah, I want my child home too. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't care. You can release 10 Grim Reapers, a million Grim Reapers. I don't care about the collateral damage. As long as my child is home. But is that selfish?
I think so, probably. The countries don't fully work exactly like that, but yeah, yeah. And I mean, but you talked about a lot of different things. You even talked about this.
Oh, intergenerational toxicity. Yes, toxic behavior that persists from generation to generation. Oftentimes we talk about generational curses. Well, the reality is intergenerational toxicity. So what it is you are displaying behaviors in front of, and I'm just going to do layman's term, you're displaying toxic behavior in front of your children, and your children will believe that that's normal behavior, and your children will start to participate in that toxic behavior because that's all your children may know. If your children are not exposed to other ways of behaving, that's what your children, in a nutshell, will become. Toxic like you as an adult.
And we do have that example that you were talking about before with borderline personality disorder. That's an example. This woman probably is a mother, though. And this is how she behaves.
Yes. Oh, my
Man,
God.
oh, man.
1 second.
Okay.
Man, oh, man. Borderline personality disorder is something else.
What you get when you mess with a crazy ass?
Did you see that video?
This is what you get when you mess with a crazy ass.
Did you see that video?
I'm not a crazy ass.
This is a woman who is undone.
I'm done.
Irrational anger. What is that 4-letter word that starts with the letter F?
Fear.
Fear.
Fear. 100% fear.
Yes. Fear of abandonment.
I still haven't gotten a call back.
They get awfully upset. They key your car. They throw a brick through your window. They may stalk you.
Watching you.
Man, this is something else. To trash someone's apartment like that, to put feces on his toothbrush.
Just your breath is not pretty.
That's not good. Not a good sign.
You talking to me or you talking to him?
You may have borderline personality disorder.
I know what it's called.
Oh, your Xbox is gone, babes.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh my gosh, irrational anger, borderline personality disorder. But I want to put up one other comment. Let's see. This is back, we were talking about great optics, and she is very tall.
And she got a deep voice too.
She does. She has a very deep voice. Like, oh my gosh. But that was our #1 sneak peek.
Mm-hmm.
We had 20,000 views on that.
Plus.
20,000 plus. That sneak peek was the bomb. I love that. And that's try to do what?
You know, she probably somebody's mother though.
I'm sure.
She probably got a couple of kids.
Yes, I'm sure.
And that's how she acts.
And that's how she acts.
And she recorded herself doing that.
She recorded herself. And then even in the mirror, she looked, you saw the mirror, like, because that her parents or her mother probably did the same thing. So that's how it's called modeling. Like, what behaviors are you modeling in front of your children? Because what you do, children are sponges. Whether they don't take notes, like, you know, in the office, you know, we have a meeting, we take notes, whatever. Their notes are their eyes, their ears, what they smell, what you say, and they internalize it. So basically what happens is, if you act a certain way in front of your children will be a representative of you. Your children are your ambassadors.
Right. And then that's that intergenerational toxicity.
That is correct. Intergenerational toxicity. And that's what happens if you have toxic behaviors and you display those toxic behaviors in front of your children. Guess what? If your children, if they don't get the intervention or the assistance that they need, they become toxic adults.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you know, and not everyone is meant to be a parent.
Right, but that's, you know, but some people are, regardless.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I mean?
are. I mean, you know what it is.
And they have kids, and then they raise them, and then they're out in the world doing whatever they do.
That is
You know,
correct.
and then we got to deal with them, and we got to deal with the repercussions of them, which, you know, kind of brings us to, I guess, somewhere where we can start to wrap up. Is that
okay?
You know, it's the politics of everything that's going on locally that makes things happen, and that makes like a clean park versus a dirty park where kids have to play at, where there's crack pipes and stuff laying on the ground or whatever, or like, you know, parents not having the mental services that they need, or not knowing that the mental services are available, knowing that job programs and stuff are available for people. So I don't know. We could do two things. We do have a special guest coming up on the show in another 2 weeks, and we can preview that. But I do also have that piece from BMI, which we haven't really talked about too much tonight.
Yes.
But I do have that piece on New Jersey Hype from BMI about when the kids were at the East Orange.
Yeah. The video when the woman called me out and said, "Dr. Lisa, you look very weak."
No, but I do have a little clip of that video. We can play a little part of it just to show you what the sponsor of the show, BMI, does on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
This is Councilman Montague, City of Orange, New Jersey. We're here today. We got two young gentlemen. What's your name, son? Thomas. And what's your name? Adeza. Both of these gentlemen will be working for the great city of Orange, New Jersey, in our public works department. They're eager. They're going to be getting a great wage and the experience. You can't even measure how much experience this is going to help them grow. So I'm proud to be a part of this. Congratulations, you are now hired for the city of Orange. This is Mayor Dwayne Warren. Blessed Ministries has placed both of these men with Public Works.
Hi, Mayor, how are you?
Yes.
Are you coming aboard too?
Yes, all for the city of Orange.
Nice.
So one thing about this mayor that we agree on, what we try to do is move Orange forward. We try to uplift kids, to make them the best they can be.
They get paychecks too?
They get paychecks.
How much taxes on what? David Butcher.
David Butcher.
Tax collector. And what I do here is kind of two things. So first, I'm the chief inspector for the town, property maintenance inspector. So we have property maintenance inspectors who walk around, drive around the town to make sure landlords keep their properties up, right? In a nutshell.
What's your name? You ready to work?
Yes.
Right now, we're going to see what his interests are. Okay. We'll see what he likes.
But generally, like, what are type of interns type do?
Everyone has their each, so, somebody might be administrative or something around the building. But like I said, we're going to get his interests. As the chief comes in, we'll take it from there.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Look, and let me tell you something. The police, or without police, there's no us. We need these guys. How y'all?
Oh, that's one of my favorite programs. That was the New Jersey Hype, helping youth prepare for employment. So what we did was we worked with youth in the summer, and we placed them in different work sites. We had them placed in the police station. We had them placed at the fire department. We had them placed at Parks and Recreations with the City of Orange. And big shout out to Councilman Weldon Montague.
Yes, Councilman Orange.
Yes, big shout out to the Mayor of Orange.
Yes.
Yes, so we, this is what we do at BMI, Blessed Ministries Incorporated, who sponsors Urban Tools for Change, and it could not be possible. Urban Tools for Change would not be possible without Blessed Ministries Incorporated. And then on that note, we've had a lot of guests within the year. We've had politicians, we've had judges, movie director, and the best is yet to come, because this coming year we're scheduled to engage in more political discussions, more relationship discussions, just a lot. I'm looking forward to this year.
Yeah, and also we can maybe get some views of what people want to see more of as well.
Yes,
they might want to leave comments.
Would be fantastic. In the comment section, what would you like to see discussed in the Urban Suite? What is something that you would like me to touch upon? And if it's outside of my area, my scope of expertise, I always bring someone in. We had Dr. Grundy. She is a pediatrician, and I'm looking to get also a male doctor to talk about Black males and their health, because several Black men have died of, cancer, prostate cancer. So that's a very important thing also that I want to discuss in the Urban Suite in 2023.
Right, and we're obviously going to continue to talk about health, whether it be physical or mental health, and different ways that you can help prepare yourselves for the urban environment and other environments that you
Absolutely, and it's all in the vein of having fun, because I think most people learn through fun. I remember going through my doctorate program, and I have to say this class was very daunting. It was the statistics class. But my professor, Dr. Gill, he made it so much fun. And this is where we did what do you call oh my God. I'm see it's the fog again. What do you call that game where you draw the circle, the head?
Oh, Hangman.
Hangman, yes.
Yeah.
It was Hangman, yes. So we played Hangman in the stats class. And if we didn't get the proper statistic that should be used based on what was presented to us, he would draw a head. And it made it was fun.
Yeah, just chiming in on what you said before, someone agreed that you should talk about colon cancer.
Colon cancer, yes. Yeah. Colon cancer, okay. Yes, actually, yes, that has been a major contributor, unfortunately, to my in-laws' colon cancer. Colon cancer, let me write that down. That's a big one.
And then also Cynthia, a comment for you.
Oh, thank you. Continue blessings, BMI. Great agency, staff, and services. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But like you said,
yes.
Yeah, but like you said, we do have some more guests coming up. And then 2 weeks from now, we do have a repeat guest because when we interviewed him this last time, he was trying to run for city councilman in the West Ward of Newark. And this was before he actually got any results from who won or in the runoff election. And that was Dupree Kelly.
Yes.
And we'll have him back on in 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
But just for people to remember who he was, take a look at this here.
And Hafiz Fareed is the one that first started to get me to canvas. He started to get me to give back. This is before Lords of the Underground. When you see me in newspaper clippings at my school, Newark Tech, fighting for youth who are using drugs and fighting for teenage pregnancy to slow that rate down. When you see me fighting for my community and doing walks, cancer walks and cleaning up the community. Right before I got into Lords of the Underground, he had me canvas. I learned that being direct with the people, you find out so much more. You learn so much more. And I like what I learned because it gave me a different perspective about everybody in our city. And then once in Lords of the Underground, we started to make money. The hip hop career changed our lives. But once it changed our lives, that same brother, Hafiz Fareed, when he see me spend money on something, he would ask me, what have you done for Newark lately? I see Newark on your hats, I see Newark on your shirts, but what have you done for Newark? And that would make me go, So I would take my own money, my own hip hop money, and I would go out and feed people. I would take my own money and I would go out and clothe people, groom them, get them haircuts and just give them stuff to get by. But what I learned from that is make me realize that that's nothing but a Band-Aid. So I had to ask myself, that's for the now. When you feed somebody, when you clothe them, I had to ask myself, what is real sustainable change? What do I really want to do? And I answered myself, I want sustainable change. I want systemic change to happen. Because when you foster change that way, it happens and it stays around and sticks around for a long, long time. So that's what I wanted to do. And I understood and started to understand from dealing with my nonprofit that can only happen if you have political power. And political power is coming from the people who elect you to put you in office because they believe that you can do the work on behalf of the people.
So that night we actually covered the election in Newark, which was very interesting. And I spoke with a good friend of mine who lives in the Ironbound section. Remember the Ironbound was so late and slow?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was a crazy day. When we got the live results and stuff, it was fun. It was
very fun. So we're going to do that every year. But I thank you for, bringing them on board and joining us in the Urban Suite, because we have a lot of things to discuss, especially in the West Ward. If you're not familiar with Newark, the West Ward is pretty much like that South Orange corridor coming from South Orange, New Jersey, going down Vailsburg, South Orange Avenue, and then you have all of the surrounding area. So basically, Newark, you have West Side High School, that's the West Ward, and that's where his jurisdiction is, his constituents are. There are a lot of things that I see that, especially like the playground on South Orange Avenue, I have a problem with the playground. And I'm hoping that because I'm solution focused, that we can come up with a solution. Because at the end of the day, if children do not have playgrounds that are healthy looking, if they don't have playgrounds that stimulate their mental capacity, it's not good. It's not good. I remember growing up in DC, and we had Fort Stevens. The playground was clean. We had recreational activities. Now there's a rec center across the street, down the street from the playground, but the playground in and of itself is not good. And every time
It needs help.
It needs help. So, we're going to talk about that and other issues, like how can, we as a community assist him in helping the West Ward of Newark.
Yeah. And I think
we're going to together.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it is the promotion of services that are available and making partnerships come into fruition that could be possible. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that there's a good possibility that some good things could happen with people finding out more. The PR thing is what's important, I think, for a lot of these programs that are out here. Because even with BMI, people don't necessarily, everybody doesn't know that BMI exists. You know what I mean? So how are they going to get those services if they don't know it exists?
Right, exactly.
How are they going to know if somebody wants to help or if somebody wants to help clean up something in the community if, if they don't communicate? So
right, exactly. So yeah, so we, looking forward to that. I'm reading some material now, and planning to invite guests. Now, someone asked me if I take insurance. No, I do not take insurance, but I do see clients. I do not see young children. That is not my area of expertise. I only see adults. And basically, if you are interested in seeking some type of assistance, I do behavior change counseling. So it's about changing your behavior. For the most part, I do a lot of motivational interviewing. I do solution focused therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. I do not take insurance. I am not licensed. I am a certified rehabilitation counselor with a PhD in psychiatric rehabilitation counseling. I do not make diagnosis. I cannot make diagnosis. I can only assess and evaluate. I cannot make a diagnosis. Typically, and previously I worked with psychiatrists, and I will assess, and based on my assessment, the psychiatrist will do their own assessment, and then based on my assessment and the psychiatrist's assessment, that's what the diagnosis will be.
Right. And you're not prescribing drugs for nobody.
I am not. No, I am not prescribing. I do not know. I do not have the license or anything like that to prescribe medication. What I will do is I do currently work with some psychiatrists, depending on what your need is, whether it is psychiatric, whether it's having a substance use disorder. You have to let me know. And then if you live in the greater Essex area, I can kind of direct you into the path that you may want to go down. But I will assist you in that. So yes. So no, I do not see little children at all. That is not my area. No.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Yeah, no, that's not me.
But maybe because of the kids and stuff, that we assist kids in getting jobs and stuff like that, but that's something different.
Right. So those are children that are maybe like 14 to 21 or so. And I have to say the 14-year-olds are a little more challenging to place because one, their mindset, number two, employers, like, oh, 14-year-old, so I have to really negotiate with employers, but we get it done. I want to thank Believe Thomas Mitchell for his organization because he assisted us in placing some of the students. Definitely, I want to thank Weldon Montague, councilman of Orange, New Jersey. I had the opportunity to interview him as well. And just so many people I want to thank. I can't remember them offhand. Dr. Grundy, Judge Sekou, who else? From the Urban League, Danielle from the Urban League.
And Sharif came through. What was it? Sharif? There was a candidate in was that Orange?
Oh yes. And James Ward was a candidate.
James Ward as well.
He did Striking Business Gold with Mystique. I think she goes by several names. But yeah.
Sasha Lalit.
Yeah, Sasha Lalit.
And we had our first international call too. We had
my gosh, yes, all the way.
We did an international.
India, right?
Mumbai, India. Yeah. We were on the chat with Mumbai, and New York at the same time, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
We want to do more of that. And we talked to you from Hawaii, I believe, right?
From Hawaii, yes. And St. Martin. I was in
St. Martin. And St. Martin. So we were,
international.
Well, St. Martin
international.
We were running around a little bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we want to do some more of that. And if anybody got any favorite authors out there that they want us to even talk to, we can, set something up.
Now, because Urban Tools for Change Network is officially an LLC, if you are interested in interning with us, we are actively looking for interns. If you, or someone, your grandchild, your niece, nephew, whatever is a journalist major, PR major, and they would like to intern, we definitely are official. We definitely are official. I work with Rutgers right now on the flip side, working with rehab counseling students that are interning with Rutgers. And I forgot to mention, this year Rutgers acknowledged me as alumni, the School of Health Professions. Yes. I have an award, a plaque, everything. So big up.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we actually did some other shows too. You were actually a guest on a couple of the
shows
this year too.
On Broken Wings. Mm-hmm. Yes, with Dr. Phyllis.
And then the other show with old boy.
Which one?
Intuitive Thinking Podcast.
Oh yes, Intuitive, yes.
Yeah,
yes, I was a guest on twice talking about social media and this addiction and the addictive properties of social media. And then there was another show with TAC. I think I did also with social media addiction. So I'm looking forward to definitely, being on more shows.
More collaborations.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So we had a real expansive year this year. We're looking forward to doing a lot more next year as well.
That is correct. So so this is the final show of 2022, and I have to say, I believe it was very successful. If you laughed, cried, learned, and grow, it was a success for me because that's my mission. That is the mission, through psychiatric rehabilitation, for you to laugh, learn, cry, and grow, to take these tools. And when I say Urban Tools for Change, people are like, well, why Urban Tools? I look at it as you have two type of regions. You have the suburban, which is the suburban, and then you have the urban. And my focus is really on the urban tools. So it's sort of like a screwdriver. You have the flat head and then you have the Phillips screwdriver.
Mm.
Both of them are tools, right? Both of them are screwdrivers, but depending on what they're screwing into, so our issues are going to be slightly not different, but the tools that we use based on our issues are going to be different than the suburban folks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's called Urban Tools for Change. And I always ask, what's in your toolbox? What do you use to help you in your toolbox? Because with Blessed Ministries, we always say, wellness and recovery through work. My tool for change is jogging. It was cold yesterday, 17 degrees. I'm out there jogging. I have to jog. I have to jog outside. If it's 8 degrees, I have to jog. What do? I prepare. I put my clothes on a radiator or a heater. My gloves are on a heater. We live in a house that was built in the 1800s. So we have those old radiators. So I put my stuff on the radiators, and, I have my Under Armour 32 and below. I have my hand warmers, my toe warmers, and I just go out there and do it. And at the end of the day, after I do that, I'm still sweating.
Mm. And you feel better.
And I feel better. So yeah. Tomorrow, I hope it's a little warmer, but but I'll be out there tomorrow. In Jesus' name, I'll be out there tomorrow.
Now, one quick thing though, what if you were in Buffalo though? Would you be able to do all of that?
No, it would be too much. My thing is, if I can walk in it, I can jog in it.
Okay.
So if I'm not able to walk in it,
okay,
I can't jog in it.
You're not being ridiculous, like
No. So I have my plan B. My plan B is to Taibo indoors.
And
then my husband bought a stationary bike.
Oh yeah, well, it's not a Peloton or nothing like that. You just got.
It's an Eloton. No, seriously, Eloton. So it's not a.
Actually, I think Peloton went out of business or something like that this year.
It's not a Peloton. It's a
Peloton. Yeah.
Eloton. They removed the P.
Right. And they still getting the money. Okay.
Right. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's it.
One last comment.
Oh, good for you. Running has never been my thing. You go there. I love it. I did most of my dissertation while running in my mind.
Mm.
Yep. Most of my thoughts come from running. Ideas from the show not only come from you all, but it comes from running. It's not about, for me, weight loss, because I can't afford to lose weight or anything. It's about me staying fit and trim. But for the most part, it's just my mind. Like, I would go bonkers if I didn't do exercise. A great year, yes. It was a great year. It was a great year on so many levels. It was a great year. So what are you predicting for next year? Anyone predicting anything for next year?
Oof. I think everybody just needs a breather for a little bit, at least like 6 months. No drama. No drama.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Okay.
Right. Not happen.
And then I don't. One thing I was going to mention back before we even go at this, because you're talking about intergenerational toxicity, and who's really trying to really promote all over social media and get real famous right now is our little couple, Blueface and Krishan.
Who?
Remember the girl that was crying on the thing, and that the boyfriend beat her up, and then she said no, he didn't beat her up.
Oh, right.
Well, they have a reality show, like a love show thing, reality. It's like Real Love or something they call it. And they had a show the other day where, they were playing clips of it all over the place on Twitter and stuff, where he got into a fight with the father.
Whose father? His father or her father?
No, her father. And he kind of punched him in the face, and the boy punched. Actually, the father hit him first. And they fighting on the camera. I don't know if this is for, views and stuff like that. And maybe it is, and it's hype and everything for views into the drama.
So the father, now this is just me, my assessment based on what you just said, punching somebody.
Yeah.
So her father probably was abusive or is abusive. So she probably saw that.
Yeah, she's used to it.
And she's used to it, and that's what she's gravitating toward. They need to call me. I can help them.
Actually, I think it's working. I think it's working for them right now. But
yeah, of course, because they're selling their soul.
Right. And matter of fact, my sister wanted to actually talk to you about meditation.
Yes.
Remember, she said she wanted to talk to you about meditation. So yeah.
Interesting. Yes, absolutely. We can put that in for the new year.
Yeah. So
and mindfulness. I think mindfulness is very important. I have to say, I was like sort of against mindfulness in a sense, because my thing is, if you're living in the projects, you're going to be mindful that I'm living in the projects, but it's beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
It's being mindful of your emotions, being mindful of how you're feeling at the time. And also with feelings is a manifestation of your thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And really being mindful of that.
Yeah.
What am I thinking at this point? Am I thinking horrific thoughts? Am I thinking thoughts of peace? Am I thinking thoughts of revenge? Another thing that I want to talk about in the coming year is jealousy, the spirit of jealousy.
Well, I don't know if that's going to coincide with Valentine's Day, but we are going to be having a special show for Valentine's Day too. But that might come in, like that might be right in front of it. I don't know. So we'll see.
So yeah, so this has been a wonderful year. Again, I thank you, my Urbanites, for entering into the Urban Suite with me. We have a lot to do in terms of assisting you all, but you all let me know what you want to, me to discuss. And colon cancer definitely is one. Pancreatic cancer is definitely another one. And then also, not only colon cancer, but colonoscopies.
Yeah, we talked about
important.
Yeah.
Very
and
important.
living wills and stuff like that. We have to talk about.
Oh yes, trust. Yes, that's going to be.
Write that down. Trust and wills.
Yes, I'm going to write that down. Trust and wills, and I have someone to talk about that.
Yeah. So we need to talk about that probably early too. We need to get that discussion out the way.
Absolutely. So yeah. All right. So I thank you guys, my Urbanites, for entering the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LACON, where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow. We will be here next Tuesday at our regular time, 7 p.m. Did you all like the 6 p.m. time?
Yeah. And that'll be next year. We won't see them again until next year.
Right. Well,
but you know what? There was more people. Yes, there was a.
That's the NAACP.
They ain't never make it this. They didn't never come out with another.
Well, the national did. The national.
I'm saying the local.
The local is he is I guess contesting. Is that
taking it to court? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they're taking it to court at this juncture. I haven't heard about that, but basically, yes. So the local chapter said, "Wait a minute now, not so fast."
Yeah.
Whereas the national is like, it is what it is. But the local level is saying, the local chapter is saying, wait a minute, not yet, not so fast. So we will see within the next couple of weeks. I don't know. We've been trying to figure
the other shoe hasn't fell. Yeah, the other shoe hasn't fell yet.
We've been going through this since November the 17th.
Yeah, November. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, that's another story we'll keep up on next year.
Yes, right.
Which is next week. But you know what? Before you let Molly take us away, I just want to say goodbye to this intro that we had last year that we stopped using.
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LACON. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community.
Dr. Lisa LACON.
Wow. So that's it. And on that note, Molly, take us away.